Hey guys, you might remember a few months ago, Lil Tay died. It was a sad day. Then a few hours later, it turned out that she was alive all along. Some say it was hackers. Tay herself said that it was her dad working with sketchy managers. Some think it was an inside job, and Tay did it to regain relevancy. Let me know what you guys think. Now that she's alive, I could go back to not caring about her. She went on Instagram Live earlier today, and boy was she mad. By the way, she's not that little anymore. We could start calling her Medium Tay.
5 years and y'all still broke. The GOAT is back. 5 years and I'm still the youngest one out. 5 years and y'all bitches are still broke. So don't take it out on me. Why the fuck are y'all coming at me for? Y'all hating ass bitches were hating on me when I was 9 years old. Talking all this shit when you don't fucking know me. So stop fucking talking. You did not come up. You had 5 years to come up and you didn't. So don't blame me, bitch. 5 years.
Lil Tay starts off by showing us a picture of her father, saying that he's sexually inappropriate and neglectful. Apparently her dad used to bring home women and hook up with them in front of her. One of these women was his assistant, and most of the women he brought home were Asian. Oftentimes he'd find them on Craigslist. This behavior is not okay. If you're a divorced parent, then your kids are obviously going to be upset seeing you with someone else. If it's a real relationship, it's going to take a while for the kid to grow on it, but if you're just banging whores while your kid is trying to sleep, your kid is probably going to end up fucking hating you.
This man, these are all events that happened before I became famous, because he had not been in my life for years before then. He was bringing random ass women around all the time and literally hooking up with them in front of me. I was a child. And one of those women was named Shima Ali, his assistant. This is her. These are not private this is her Facebook wallpaper. These are not private photos. Oh my God. I remember one time, it was the middle of the night, and I was awakened by them next to me in the bed. And I could literally, she had her hand on my leg, and I was frozen in place. I was so young at that time. I had no fucking idea what was going on. And I was just frozen in place. And then I moved, and then that's when she took her leg off my hand. They were literally in bed next to me. They did not care, and they were literally disregarding the fact that I was even there. That's fucking insane. He was hooking up with random women all the time, and he found them off of Craigslist. This is his Craigslist email to a random woman who had an ad. Okay, this is the email trying to hook up with people. This is my mom talking to somebody about it after she found out about it.
Eventually, her dad settled with this whore from the Philippines, and they showed Tay inappropriate movies like Bride of Chucky, and sometimes do things like pinch her. Tay actually ended up calling the police one time.
It was a really big thing. Chris mainly shoved me, and this is one of the worst incidents that happened. This is a police report. They were physically abusing me constantly. And like I said, if her son acted out of line, she would use me as a scapegoat and take it out on me. And in fact, physical abuse of me was so common in this household that her son caught onto it, and he was doing it to me too, and they would just egg him on.
Tay starts to reach a little bit, saying that her dad packed her lunch with gross food and had her wear cheap shoes. That just sounds like some typical poverty activity. Apparently not, because Tay's dad would spoil his girlfriend.
Look at this. What is this shit? This is what they were packing me for lunch. My mom had discovered that they were packing me this bullshit for lunch. Rotten, frozen, parasitic, moldy. Look at this. That's candy. That's expired candy. These are my mom's text messages to him, sending him these photos, and like, why are you sending this to your child for school?
So the hate Lil Tay has for her dad is sincere. She's not exposing him for no reason here. It's safe to assume he was a jackass. While trying to get custody of Lil Tay, she claims that he used racism to win over the courts.
There, because he's racist as fuck. Do you know one of the reasons that he said to the court that he should have custody of me after I became famous? He said it was because my mom was letting me associate with Black and Hispanic people in the entertainment industry. And he said that they were going to get me into drugs, or they were going to steal my money, or they're going to exploit me. He hates Black and Hispanic people. That was one of his arguments.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
I doubt her dad actually went in front of a judge and said, I don't want my daughter around blacks and Hispanics. There's no way he's stupid enough to say that. But let's pretend that he did. There is no judge who is going to take that defense seriously. Lil Tay has definitely been watching too many Disney movies to think that we live in a world where a divorced dad can tell a judge he doesn't want his daughter around minorities and the judge would just go for it. That's not how the world works, but I could see how a 14-year-old consumed with popular media would believe that. Kids nowadays sincerely believe that we're living in the Jim Crow era. I take what she says with a grain of salt because this is the same girl who faked her death. Since the internet hates her now, she might be trying to ham up a sob story to get people to feel bad for her. It's called gaslighting. And it's interesting that she's doing this live stream, calling her dad an abusive jackass the same day she releases her new single. I want to believe what she's saying. It's just like, fool me once, shame on you.
Fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
I mean, I'm gonna be pissed if this turns out to be fake again. But there totally are some abusive parents who just senselessly hit their kids. It's pretty common. The biggest gap between millennials and Gen Z is at least a third of millennials were spanked, but only 10% of Gen Z kids got spanked. The image of Homer Simpson strangling Bart would be considered edgy today, but that used to be an endearing image. I'm definitely not saying that abusing your kids is okay. Studies show that abused children end up worse. When you hear stories about criminals, murderers, they usually come from abusive families. But sure, there are exceptions. At the end of the stream, she says that her mom wasn't fired from her real estate job, she actually resigned. Sometimes you quit a job if you know you're about to get fired, because when you apply for another job, it's better to say that you quit than say you got fired. Personally, I think it's better to get fired because you get them unemployment checks, son. But Lil Tay is saying that her dad is the one who faked her death. I don't know, man. It's possible. Now, is she going to be relevant again? Is this new music going to work? If I could compare her to anyone, it'd be the Pokemon Go kid. His content was pretty similar, a 9-year-old saying edgy things. Now that this kid is a teenager and he makes serious music, his image is completely different. People still remember him as the Pokemon Go kid. It's almost impossible for him to shake that image. Lil Tay is definitely going to be remembered as the youngest flexer. Being a child celebrity does sound terrible. You need to live like a regular person to appreciate fame and fortune. If you're accustomed to it from a young age, you might end up being depressed when you get older. Some of these child stars end up really crazy. I mean, look at my man Aaron Carter. He was pretty cool, but he totally had some issues. Rest in peace to him, by the way. Anyway, what do you guys think? I'm out.